After this live stream has already been recorded, we're going to officially get started at the 10-minute mark. So if you're watching this after the live stream is over, you just move ahead to the 10-minute mark, and that's when we will officially get started. Welcome. Okay. Can everyone hear me all right here in the Discord? Crunchy and How? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me over on the Discord? So wherever it is that you're watching from, we'll get started at the 10-minute mark. So it's about another 8 minutes from now when we will officially begin. Okay, I see lots of people joining through YouTube. Hey, Keem and Nikki and Fadi, welcome. It's a good way to watch, and hello there to Alex. Welcome in, Alex. I think it's your first time joining for one of our live sessions. So great to have you here. And yeah, How? Great that you have the time to swing by. It's great. If you're watching over on YouTube, is the stream quality good? Is the audio good? Everything's good? Suitable? Hey, Nino, joining in the Discord, and May. Hello. Okay, nice to see you, Nino. Okay, welcome to Charity and Mike and Asha. Is anyone saying anything? Can I hear the Discord all right? Can someone do a mic test for that? Oh, I couldn't hear. So maybe I try to fix that so I can hear what people are saying on the Discord. Hey, can you hear me? Can I hear you? Oh, how about now?
This is
Okay, great. All gathering together on the Discord, YouTube as well. So we are just about to begin. I will ask that Atlas and Nino, if you can keep an eye on the Discord during our session, if anyone's mic is open or any stuff like that, just to clear it up. Keep an eye on it because I'm kind of a distance away from the computer. Hey there, Jan and Chesh, Ash and Alexandra. I think I'm not saying it right. And Ophelia and Robert and Sander and Thomas. Welcome in, everyone. We are at the 10-minute mark on YouTube, but we'll take a few more minutes to let people join in and just to settle in for the ride and start to bring our attention onto the breath and the body and start to really set our intention to practice together, to listen to these teachings together, which I will go over. It's going to be a surprise. Oh, and I don't have the microphone here. So setting our intention to really practice deeply, to really show up here and now into this space. Maybe to start by taking a few deep breaths to really bring our mind to the body, to bring our attention to this present situation that we find ourselves in. And whatever difficulties or troubles that we've been going through, whatever they might be, today or yesterday or upcoming troubles, kind of taking a deep breath and just bringing that trouble mind home to the body and really breathing and being aware. Breathing and just giving ourselves this time to be here, whatever that means for each of us as individuals, but to really show up, to really be present in this space. Okay, so to formally get started with our practice today, I'll just go ahead and ring the bell. And I think we can't have the best of both worlds, so if you're listening on Discord, you may not hear this bell very well. No one may hear it very well except for me, but I'm going to try. And as we are hearing the sound of the bell, really allowing that to invite us to mindfulness, invite us to this relying on being aware and just being here. Okay, so welcome to everyone joining both on Discord and through YouTube. Today, we're going to be looking at a reading and kind of looking at a teacher together of we can say Ajahn Atulo, which was this Forrest monk a few decades ago, maybe 50 years ago or so, who spent most of his life living in the forest. He spent many years memorizing and studying Buddhism in the traditional way, but stated that it was only so good to support memorization. And so after hearing a forest monk come to speak at his local temple, at his place, he was inspired to follow this monk into the forest. And he spent his next 50, 60 years as a honored guest of all of Thailand, as someone that the king and queen of Thailand would go to and request that he live to be 100 years old, because he had this kind of potency, this power of heart or power of citta, power of mindfulness. And so we're going to just be reading through some of his, some excerpts and some snippets, some tea that he has left behind, and listening to that together and allowing that to kind of inspire us on the path, inspire us in our moment-to-moment awareness, in our moment-to-moment life. And maybe we'll find something here that really connects with us. And if we do, As we read, there's a couple passages here. Each one can kind of be taken on its own. As we do, if you have a question if you have something you feel inspired to share, go ahead and share it, either with your voice here on the Discord, or just you can write a message through text in the YouTube channel. And so we'll kind of be exploring these teachings together. Sound good to everyone? All right. So, ready or not, here we go. Long Pu's legacy, and this title Long Pu means kind of like honored grandfather, great Dharma grandfather, great teacher. On the 18th of December 1979, the king and queen paid a private visit to Long Pu, or to Ajahn, this monk. After their majesties had inquired about his health and welfare, and had finished with some discussion on Dhamma, His Majesty, the King of Thailand, asked this question: Venerable monk, in abandoning the kilesas are these defilements, these habits of difficulty, or these tendencies of mind that get us into all kinds of mess, like greed, hatred, and delusion, or negative or non-practical thinking. The king asked this monk, in abandoning the kilesas, which kilesa should be abandoned first? And the venerable monk answered, all kilesas arise together in the heart. Watch the heart. Whatever kilesa, whatever defilement, whatever difficulty arises first, that is the one to abandon first. So watch the heart. And whatever difficulty or bad habit arises first, that's what you take care of. Whatever comes into your awareness first of all. So we can maybe look for a moment turning towards our own heart, breathing and seeing what's arising for us right now. What we are aware of right now. The second cup of Dharma tea, entitled The Venerable Monk Declines to Resist the Khandhas. The khandhas are the forms of the body, or we can say the causes and conditions that the body is subject to. Each time their majesties, the king and queen of Thailand, visited the venerable monk and were about to take leave, they would express the wish: we request the venerable monk to continue in his body, his khandha, for over 100 years, in order to receive the respect and homage of people everywhere. Would the venerable monk accept our request? Even though this was merely a formality or a polite way of expressing respect to the venerable monk, as the king was inclined to do, he did not dare to accept, as he could not oppose the nature of the physical body. He therefore replied to His Majesty, I cannot accept your Majesty's request. It is up to the sankhara, it is up to compounded phenomena, causes and conditions. They go according to their own nature. So this monk even asked by the king to do something and to keep his body alive, and the monk said, I cannot accept this request. It is up to compounded phenomena. It is up to causes and conditions. Can you stay here? Can you be here at this time? Can you show up at the on time for work? I cannot accept your Majesty's request. It is up to the sankhara, compounded phenomena. They go according to their own nature. So maybe the next time that someone here is asked by their boss to show up to work at a certain time, you can try to respond in this way and see what comes up out of that. But it's it's not so much this kind of like a romantic or dismissive way to respond to a situation. In this case, at least, if we're just kind of putting on airs, then yeah, it's dismissive. It's not taking responsibility for what we need to do and for that person's expectation. But here, it's coming from this place of deep sincerity, deep maturation, a very close, intimate experience with the moment by moment life, the heart. I cannot accept your Majesty's request. It is up to the compounded phenomena. They go according to their own nature. How about this one? Anyone in the Discord have a thought or an idea about this one? All right, we don't have to worry because we have no shortage of the Dharma tea today. Longpo Atulo, Ajahn Atulo really took care of us today. So there's a lot to get through. There's a lot to look at. Maybe there's a lot to be with, to enjoy. So number 3. And the title of this whole thing is kind of Longpo's legacy, or the Venerable Monk's legacy, this wisdom that he left behind. And this short one is entitled Considering the Four Noble Truths. So a lot of people have idea about a Buddhism as a religion and as it's basically Christianity but with the Buddha, or it's it's some kind of religious school, it's some kind of weird religious thing. But this very, very famous monk who had audiences with the king and queen and was one of the most respected monks in Thailand, this Buddhist state, this Buddhist country. Usually when people think about Buddhist monks, they think about Thailand. And so this short excerpt from this monk's life, he talks about these Four Noble Truths. And so let's see what he has to say about it. And you can break down the basics, the fundamentals of Buddhism to be the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. And the Eightfold Path is really ethical living, meditation practice, and living in accordance with the wisdom that comes from that. So we say ethical living, meditation, and wisdom. But considering the Four Noble Truths, which are understood to be the foundation of Buddhism. A senior monk of the meditation tradition went to pay his respects to the venerable monk on the first day of the Rains Retreat, 1956. And actually, us monks, we just began the Rains Retreat a few days ago. After the monk listened to the Dhamma talk, concerned with deep matters, the venerable monk, Ajahn Atulo, our facilitator today, summarized the Four Noble Truths, or the core of the Buddhist philosophy, saying, "The heart which is sent outside is samudaya. The results of sending the heart out is dukkha. The heart seeing the heart is magga. The results of the heart seeing the heart is nirodha." Now I'm going to tell you those words, what they mean. And it's just a traditional language. It's a Pali language, so it's a very old language, not like a magical thing. There are other languages, right? Many languages. So the heart which is sent outside is samudaya. The heart which is sent outside is craving, the cause of suffering. The results of sending the heart out is dukkha, is suffering. The results of participating in craving, the results of trying to get something or trying to get rid of something is suffering, is dissatisfaction. The heart seeing the heart is magga, or the path, the way to end suffering. So the heart seeing the heart is the path, the way. The results of the heart seeing the heart is nirodha, or cessation, the ending of suffering. So sending our heart mind out to get something, or to kind of try to get rid of something, is craving. It's the cause of our suffering. The results of sending the heart out, the results of clinging, chasing, craving, seeking, the results of sending the heart out is dukkha, is dissatisfaction, is suffering. And impermanence is also a part of that. It's not just like a... Dukkha has a lot of definitions, a lot of ideas that go into it, but suffering, unsatisfactoriness, difficulty, unpleasantness. The heart seeing the heart is magga, is the path, the way. So the heart seeing the heart, the mind seeing the mind itself, not those things that come up and go away in the field of the mind, but the heart seeing the heart is the way of ending suffering. The results of the heart seeing the heart is the ending of suffering. So our hearts seeing our heart, the result of that is the ending of suffering. So maybe we take a moment to feel into this heart seeing the heart. The breath breathing the breath. Because all of this is not what we believe about it, but our ability to practice it and to experience it for ourselves. And this is to inspire us to come back to the heart seeing the heart, not figuring out how we send the heart outside to get the heart seeing the heart, but rather just that heart seeing the heart. Moving right along here to that which is beyond words. A scholarly lay follower was conversing with the venerable monk, saying, I believe that even in this present era, there are many whose practice has reached the way, or many who have had a kind of a real deep success in their practice, fruition and enlightenment. Why is it that these people do not proclaim themselves so, that those interested in practice will know of their achievement? So why is it that very successful people on the path don't run around claiming that they're enlightened or that they have this special experience? Why don't they do that? So that others will know about their achievement, about their success. Then people will take heart and have hope, with those who have attained being a source of encouragement for their own practice. So they will take heart and have hope with those who have attained, who have kind of woken up, being a source of encouragement for their own practice. So why aren't these enlightened people going around saying, look at me, I've got this special experience? And the venerable monk replied, for one who has attained this knowledge, what they know is beyond words. So how could you say it with a straight face? If what you have attained is without words, how can you express it with words? If what I will say, if what we are experiencing right now is beyond words, beyond story, beyond thoughts and beliefs about ourselves and beliefs about others, how can we put ourselves again and again into that little box of me and mine and I'm in this little tiny story, and it takes so much time for us to kind of stretch out and break out of that? Why do we do that? If we know, if we experience, we can feel that what's going on here is beyond words, for sure, right? The baby in the womb there's not a textbook that they're working on, and as they move through the textbook, their body is developed, What we're experiencing is beyond words. It's inclusive of words, but it is also far beyond words. So we have 2 questions in the YouTube live chat. Polar Bear says, what is heart in this context? We can say that heart is awareness, heart is sincerity, but we can definitely say that heart is this kind of mindfulness, this presentness, this being with it that is not dependent upon causes and conditions, but is aware of causes and conditions. Present and aware, alive and bright, this heart, this Bodhi heart, this awakening mind, this awareness mind. And Keem says, how can we deal with unfortunate, unpleasant circumstances and situations that happen to us? We turn towards it and we take care of it. And over time, when we do that, and when we step into difficulty rather than running away from it, we learn to transform it. We learn to take care of it more and more over time. If we have that intention and that approach of taking care, of being compassionate, of coming back to wholesomeness and peace in our daily life, well, eventually we get better at it, right? It's not that those unfortunate circumstances don't continue coming up, but that we learn over time, because that's our aspiration, that's our intention, we learn to take care of them more and more. That's my experience. And a big part of that is Thich Nhat Hanh's idea of the art of being happy, the art of being free of unfortunate circumstances and being free of suffering is learning to be with unfortunate circumstances and learning to be with suffering in a skillful way. But if you aren't willing to be with it, you're certainly not going to be able to be with it in a skillful way. It starts by being with it, being willing to step into it. And coffee helps, right? Maybe a cold shower helps. But sometimes there's no coffee. Sometimes you're covered in sweat and there's no place to take a shower, right? So we have to be aware of that also. We recently read a poem from a Zen poetess, and I believe it was from her, and she said that if I go to heaven, if I fall into heaven, that's fine. And if I find myself in hell, that is auspicious. It is auspicious in that we're at this point where we don't just get to relax, we don't just get to close our eyes, but we are burning with awareness. We are burning with intimacy with ourselves. And it's at those moments that we really have that chance to develop and to awaken. Just like the muscles. If you go to the gym and you're working out your muscles, it's when they go through a little bit of stress, not too much, that they grow. And I think the same is for ourselves. Okay, we're really getting somewhere here, starting to enjoy our time together, really. How says in the voiced text chat on Discord, How says, do the same compounded phenomena that rule the body also rule the mind? I recall Buddha separating the conscious from the self because such that is impermanent and painful cannot be representative of the self. In the same way, we have little control of the body and its passing. We also have but a bit of control over the thoughts that bubble from the subconscious to the conscious. Well, I think causes and conditions affect us in different ways. The mind and the body are deeply linked. So if your body is very painful, you're maybe more inclined to tune into a painful mental state. And then if the body feels very relaxed and peaceful, maybe more inclined to tune into a peaceful mental state. I think the body and the mind are very interconnected, right? There's a deep connection there, but I feel it's also true to say that the mind, that quality of being aware, is maybe something that's more related to that self and more subtle, so that the body is kind of gross versus subtle. And so if you're working out your muscles, you're just tearing them and they're getting bigger. But if you're working out your mind, there's so much subtlety there. There's so much fineness there. And of course we say my body, we even say my mind, but it's this my that is mind. And it's not my, right? Because this isn't mine. I'm not the king of the sun. And if the sun goes out, the mind goes out, or my mind goes out. But mind doesn't go out. Because whatever this mind is also the sun. And the sun doesn't mind if my mind goes out. So that's what I have to say about that, how. I don't know if that's helpful, but that's what I can say about it. Thank you for your wonderful question. Okay, so moving on here to real but not real. Real but not real. I keep getting into my mind that it's almost like we're at a tea ceremony, a tea tasting ceremony. And each one of these little kind of excerpts, these paragraphs, are different flavors of tea that were cultivated by Longpo or Ajahn Atulo. There's many different titles and names for monks in these countries, but so select teas from Ajahn Atulo. Maybe I'll change the YouTube title to that. But this one is real but not real. When those who practice samadhi bhavana, or meditation, so when those who practice meditation start getting results, they naturally have some questions, such as when they have various visions or see different parts of their own bodies in meditation. Many asked the venerable monk for help in comprehending these visions, and to advise them how to proceed with their practice. There were many who asked, I meditate and see heavens, hells, and the abodes of heavenly beings, and sometimes images of the Buddha. Are these things that I see real? The venerable monk said, the seeing is real, but that which is seen is not. The seeing is real, but that which is seen is not. What comes up for me is that observer. And a lot of, I think, Eastern philosophy, Eastern spiritual teachers, when I was first getting into spirituality, they would talk about the observer, the witness. And here, I think it's pointing to that, also to that witness, and that seeing, it's always in the present. That seeing is real, that awareness nature is what we can say real. But these phenomena that come up, that we notice, that we are aware of, those thoughts and ideas and concepts and beliefs, our body, our pains, our feeling of tiredness, it's not real. It's not fixed. And it's not real in terms of it's not fixed. It's very relevant. You're experiencing it. It's relevant to your life, your thirst, your hunger, but it's not fixed. And as we really start to sparkle and to feel that it's not fixed, that's when the doorway of this moment-to-moment meditation opens up. This moment-to-moment taking responsibility and taking care of our life. And it's a process. We can't buy it. We can't commodify it. And there's not a particular procedure where you're going to get it. You're never going to get it. But we can come back to it. That the seeing, the awareness is real. But the things that are seen are not. And what a wonderful answer. People often ask about when we're doing these kinds of sessions about, I'm seeing some things in my vision and all that, and I'm having these experiences, and that's something that always comes up in meditation, especially you get into deeper, taking a meditation retreat or something. All kinds of things come up. So the answer is real, but not real. The seeing is real, but that which is seen is not. Okay. The seeing is real, but that which is seen is not. So let's get to the fun stuff. Everyone, take a moment to make sure that your posture is comfortable. Maybe you need to do a little bit of a stretch. Maybe you need to move a bit, and also to bring into your mind this this sincere intention to practice, to dive in, to experience. Not to shy away, but really to step into this connecting with our body and mind, connecting with our heart at this moment. Maybe we take a sip of our tea to really get us into that headspace, tea or coffee, or if you have your incense and your lighter ready, a moment for that as well. So we're going to practice meditation with this theme of, well, we're practicing together, but this theme of the seeing is real. When we are experiencing in meditation, that awareness, we are being aware of things, we're noticing all kinds of different things. My butt hurts, or I'm worried about this, or I'm just uncomfortable. This isn't as pleasurable as I'd like it to be. The seeing of that, the noticing of that, the awareness of that is real. It's something to be relied upon. It's something to come back to. But those things that are coming up are not permanent. They're not fixed. And in that way, they are not real. It's just like a mirage. It's just like a cloud. So our method of meditation, if you need one, is to put our focus onto the breath. And as the breath finds a natural, calm rhythm, we allow ourselves to let go of any force or effort, and the practice becomes breathing and being aware, breathing and noticing, beginning and ending with the sound of the bell. The seeing is real. That which is seen is unreal. Just like bubbles coming to the surface and going away. Breathing and aware, noticing thoughts and the experience of a body, but not being convinced or pulled in by anything. The seeing is real. That which is seen is not. Breathing and being aware. If you are noticing thoughts and getting distracted, you are practicing meditation. Our practice is to be with the seeing, to rely on the seeing, breathing and being aware, noticing thoughts, noticing all kinds of things, but staying with, returning to, seeing is real. Breathing and being aware. bringing a quality of alertness, brightness to our meditation, so we're not falling into a trance. And also a gentleness. We are finding peace in the midst of our experience, whatever that may be. Even if it's quite unpleasant, quite scattered, there's a accessibility to peacefulness, to just being aware of that scatteredness, of that distraction, rather than totally wrapped up in it. And at any point of confusion, we simply come back to the method. We return our attention to the breath, breathing, and being with our heart. Do your best to stay with the method. No need to give up. But put your heart into it. Really stay with the method. Stay with the breath, being aware. For just a few more moments, being with this practice, seeing is real. The seeing is real. The awareness of what we're experiencing is real. But these sensations, the feeling of tiredness, the feeling of confusion, the feeling to give up, it is simply a phenomena. It comes up and it goes away. We don't need to get wrapped up in it. We don't need to bow down to it. But noticing how tired and confused and wrapped up we can feel. Noticing and returning back to that breathing and being aware. Totally present, totally with it, even though there is difficulty. Even though there is pain, even though there is suffering, peace is there also. Breathing and being aware. So as we end our meditation together, I invite you to join your palms together with me if you're comfortable to do that. You don't have to. You can just listen. Don't let it scare you off just yet. But joining our palms together, and it's only suitable that with the Buddha sitting behind me and being with us today, I do a chant that is, it pays respect, it pays appreciation to our Buddha nature, our inner ability to embrace suffering and to end suffering. So this inner Buddha. I will chant that 3 times, and then as we really finish, I will chant sadhu 3 times. And in that last part of sadhu, which means kind of like, may it be so, may our practice continue, but also meaning a kind of well done, we give ourselves a pat on the back. I encourage you to join me in chanting that and kind of harmonize, kind of bring your practice out, bring your voice out a little bit if you're comfortable, okay? So I'll start, and if you can follow along, you're welcome, but you can also just listen. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Satu. 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 And we can bow, bowing to our own practice, our own work, and also bowing to each other, appreciating each other. So this is where we will wrap up today. I have someone coming to see me here at the temple. We were supposed to talk about the book club. The intention for the book club is to schedule it in this upcoming week, maybe this Saturday or this Sunday at 2 p.m. New York time. That practice is going to be really a campfire practice. So we'll take turns reading a book, reading passages from a book together in this kind of space. And then after each chapter or each kind of moment, we'll have a space to share and discuss, and very campfire, right? So we're really talking about it. We're really coming together. We're sharing about our experience of the book. We have to find what book we should do. So if anyone has a recommendation on a book that they think would be good for us to read together and to explore together, please do share that. I'm going to open up a new text channel in the Discord for book club discussion and all that. And we will schedule it for this upcoming week. And maybe try to do twice a week. We'll see. Once a week is probably good, but that's the intention. And I'm really looking forward to that. Any questions before we really end and we all say goodbye to each other? Anything to share or to say?
Yes. When you said that you have the statue of the Buddha behind you, I thought about it for a second, and we are on a globe, so eventually somewhere you are behind me, and so is that statue. That's all. It was just a thought I had.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I think it sounds true. That's great.
I like that.
Mm. Okay, so I'm going to open up the book club channel today, and then we can kind of give our energy to that, and we figure out what book we're going to read, and then we'll schedule it for this upcoming week. Okay?
That sounds awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. I do have one question about the reading earlier today, if you don't mind.
Yes. Yeah, we have yeah, go ahead.
What you said, the seeing is real, what you're seeing is not. Um, I found that, or the seeing is real, that which you see is not. I found that very extremely illuminating. Because I see all sorts of stuff when I'm meditating, like all the time. I just have to ignore it and focus on the breath. But to have a little bit of instruction, it puts what you're seeing in the right place, right? Like without judgment. You know what I mean? I guess my question is, what is that from?
This is from the Buddha Dharma.
Oh,
This
okay.
is, yeah, that's what this is from.
Specifically where?
We specifically from this book that you'll have to come to the East Coast of the USA to take a look at this book.
Okay.
What we can talk about it more. Maybe we'll come back to this real but not real. But how I want to
Okay.
wrap up today. You want to say one more thing, or to do a little bit more?
Oh, I was just gonna say it sounds like good book club material.
Well, this is a bit more instructional. I think it's more suited for that format. I want to find a book that we can really kind of campfire around and really discuss and really sharing our experience and this kind of thing. So it's going to have to be the right book for that, and this is more like instructional. But I
Okay.
can,
All right, fair enough.
if you come to the temple, we have copies of this book for free. And I can take some pictures of it anyway. But so how I want to wrap up today, and this is kind of a new practice that I want to introduce. Did someone else speak up? Did someone else want to say something?
I just mentioned pictures, please.
Pictures, please. So how I want to wrap up, and I want to try this out. So just kind of effervescently, I want to say in closing that quote, that teaching that resonated with Gold quite a bit, to say that. And then after I say that, just for everyone who's here in the Discord and also on the YouTube, let's just unmute our microphones and we just express a gratitude for each other's practice. We just say, thank you, everyone. And we include ourselves in that, but really we express gratitude for coming together in this wholesome way. We're sustaining it, and just to express gratitude as we close out. All right? Sound good?
Yes.
And if you just have a text, you just write a thank you in text to everyone, all right? So here we go. This is it. The seeing is real, but that which is seen is not. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bante.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
good day, everyone.